welcome back to the channel. We're going to talk today about making money with your tractor. Possibly you're thinking about buying a tractor and you want to be able to justify it and offset the payments on it with some income. Maybe you just want to make some extra income. We're going to talk about that in very specific details today in four main categories. We're going to talk about the equipment that you need. Obviously the tractor, attachments, etc. It's important to establish what do you want to do. You know, what are you comfortable in doing? You know, where does your experience take you in being able to do work for other people? We're also going to talk about how you get the business. You know, I've done this for a while now and I've tried different things. I'm going to share with you what works for me. We're going to also talk about what I bring with me when I am doing jobs. Tools and what I believe you've got to hope for the best and plan for the worst. You don't want to be out doing something and lose a linchpin and be able to have to call the job short and take time to go back to your shop or home or whatever and get that. And lastly, what do you charge? What do I charge? Again, this is going to be what works for me. I hope it's a benefit to you guys. I hope you enjoy this, and thank you so much for joining us. Hey, if you enjoy our videos, we sure would appreciate right here a thumbs up. Thank you so much. All right, so obviously the first and most important thing is the tractor itself. Again, maybe you've already got a tractor. I think if you've already got the tractor, actually I know, if you've already got the tractor or you're going to buy a tractor, the type and size tractor you get is going to limit what you're going to be able to do. If you're going to brush hog, and that's a very popular thing for a lot of us to do, you're going to pull a rotary mower behind your tractor. In my opinion, 35 horsepower and up is really what you should be using, and then you're going to size the rotary cutter to the tractor itself. The higher horsepower tractors usually means a bigger frame size, and you're going to have better ground clearance. Because remember, you're driving over everything before you cut it. So branches and debris and what have you are going to be coming up onto the bottom of your tractor. And then as far as the attachments go, you can see right here behind my tractor is the box blade because I use the box blade for snow plowing in the wintertime. And these are the scarifiers that you can lower down to tear up dirt if you're going to be doing some initial grading. What I use this mostly for are stone driveways, is refurbishing stone driveways, even installing new stone driveways. Box blade works great. I use nothing more often than this, the rototiller. I mean, obviously for tilling gardens, and that is something where you can make quick and easy money. You could till the average size garden in 10 to 15 minutes. What I like to do to make it somewhat profitable is to schedule a number of different gardens on the same day so I can go one to the other. But also, when you're grading, I have found, for instance, let's just say you're going to put a pad in for a shed. What I'll do is I'll till it first, loosen up the soil, and then start taking the soil out and grading the site. There's a number of different uses that you'll use the rototiller for. This is a must. I think next are the forks. You use them all the time. I mean, you can even use the forks for pulling out small roots and what have you. Maybe you're going to take some bushes out. The forks are great for doing that. Also, just around your own property, hauling firewood, anything at all. Maybe you've got to load an extra attachment onto your trailer. You can chain it to the forks and lift that up and set it in place on the trailer. These are great, and they're relatively inexpensive compared to some of the other attachments that are available. So this is my grapple. I would not say it's a necessity. It depends on what you're going to do. Maybe you're going to be cleaning up a wooded area. Fantastic for that. This would not be the first attachment that I would buy, but it is, use it one time and it basically pays for itself. This is the Dirt Dog soil pulverizer. If you're going to be doing finish grading, this works well. This has the double roller and is going to be able to break up the clods of dirt and allow you to get to a finished grade. However, there's nothing better than a power rake.
And loosening it all up so when we're ready for planting it'll be much easier. That's horsepower, and it's either cutting hard dirt off the top or filling in at the lower place.
To me, it's worth the investment. It's going to be 3 times the cost of this soil pulverizer, but the finished product, I mean, it's ready for seed. I mean, it's just unbelievable. It will pulverize all the clods with a power action. If you have a skid steer, you can front mount it. Most guys with tractors will rear mount it. If you do that, then we need to talk about hydraulics. Some rear SCVs or control valves are definitely an advantage. You can use them for a top and tilt kit for your box blade, and also for the power rake. It's essential. You have to have that when you're running that off the rear end of a tractor. In addition, we talked about the grapple a minute ago. In order to have a grapple, you've got to have a third function or a diverter valve. Third function also not a diverter if you're running a stump grinder, which is an attachment that you could certainly make some money from. However, understand the limits of a stump grinder. There's plenty of videos on YouTube of guys grinding a stump. Now, if you're grinding some small to medium-sized stumps with a compact tractor, you're going to be just fine. But if you're going to be doing it where you've got a number of large stumps that you're going to do, you're going to find it cumbersome. Pack a lunch, because you're going to be there for a while. To me, taking out stumps, that's the job of an excavator. Which brings me to know your limitations. The size tractor that you have, your experience. I would suggest if you've not worked for people before and you don't have a lot of experience, work for free. Neighbors, friends, get that experience before you start doing it for a living. You also have to ask yourself this question: is what I'm planning to do going to be a tremendous strain on the tractor? A lot of guys out there, including me at one time, had the small 1025Rs or a BX. Now they're great, and you can work those tractors to death, but the question is, do you want to? Do you want to constantly be overworking your machine because you're asking it to do things that it really was not designed to do? You know, chances are, even with a 1025R or a BX, you're going to be able to do most jobs. There's no question about that. But at what cost? At what cost to your machine, and also the time that's going to be involved. So let's move on to other equipment. First and foremost, in order of importance next to the tractor is going to be your vehicle. I have a 2023 Rebel. It's only a half-ton. Candidly, were I to do it again, I would have went with a 3/4 ton. It is 4-wheel drive. It's capable. It tows just fine. Speaking of towing, having the tow switch or tow mode in your vehicle, I believe, is important, and also having a Class 3 hitch is, well, you've got to have that in order to be able to tow the trailer, right? All right, so let's talk about trailers. You don't want to buy things twice. When I bought my 16-foot tandem axle trailer, I had the 1025R. I could put the tractor and the attachment on the rear end, plus an additional attachment on there, and I had plenty of room to do that. Now, with the bigger tractor, the 2 Series, it's a little bit more difficult. To me, 20 foot. That's what I would go with. Again, that's probably what I'll end up doing someday, a 20-foot trailer. And also, of course, with any of these things that I'm talking about, the proper maintenance of your tractor. You don't want to break down. It's probably going to happen. You're going to throw a pin, you're going to damage an attachment, something's going to happen. But if you've watched this channel for any length of time, you know that I truly believe in maintenance. And you see this in this video right now from a previous video where I'm doing end-of-year maintenance to the trailer. Yeah, maybe I go a little overboard, but I really try to take care of the things that I own. So trailer is going to be very important. If you could do it, if you have the room to store it, I would say a 20-foot trailer gives you the flexibility of bringing more than one attachment to the job. So let's talk about how you get the business, how I have gotten the business. There's 2 main sources that I use. One is Facebook Marketplace. To me, it's the most affordable, and you can target. I did a job probably 2 years ago, and I had the 1025R then, and it was about 70 miles away, but the job paid good. So I decided I was going to take that job. Well, what ended up happening, I had a serious breakdown, and it wasn't fun. I mean, the logistics the job wasn't worth it. So now I basically stay in about a 20-mile radius, and Facebook allows you to do that. It allows you to target where the location of the people are that you're going after. And again, it's about 20 miles for me. The cost is affordable. I have also toyed with, here we call them Valpak. When you get those envelopes in the mail that's got coupons from a bunch of different companies, carpet cleaning and what have you, that's been okay. It's paid for itself, okay, and that's, to me, is the most important thing, the return on the investment. But Facebook Marketplace and possibly the coupon mailing are the ways that I will continue to go after business, in addition to referrals. That's another good thing about rototilling. People have their gardens and use them year after year, right? So if you can develop a client list, not only do you get them back, but you can schedule them so that you can take, say, Monday and Tuesday are going to be tilling days. I can put the tiller on, and I could go do a whole bunch of gardens, which makes that worthwhile. So let's take a look at what I do bring with me when I'm doing jobs. Again, what I'm trying to do is hope for the best, plan for the worst. This is the Yankum rope, and you can find it on Amazon, and it's a great tow rope. You know, there's a chance you're going to get stuck. Okay, and you want to be able to get yourself out. And of course, this goes around the Class 3 to be able to hook up to the Yankum. In addition to that, obviously, you're going to need some ratchet straps. I like these Rhinos. They retract, and they're really quick to put on. I do recommend the inserts that you put in the pocket stakes to be able to hook your ratchet straps to. It makes it very solid and easy to use. Now, in addition, I bring this toolbox with me. It's on wheels. It's got this telescoping handle. I bring some basic tools to be able to do repair in the field if I need to. I also bring my measuring stick to be able to, when I'm out doing estimates or what have you, to be able to delineate the size of the job. And then, of course, in addition to that, I'll use some marking paint as well. I've got an assortment of pins, linch pins that I'll use. Again, I don't want a job to blow up because I threw a linch pin, right? I want to be able to go to the truck, get it, and keep working. And then in addition to that, an assortment of cotter pins for making a repair in the field. Beyond that, I carry a tire repair kit if I run over something, to be able to keep going. And again, some basic tools, hammers, and what have you. You know, once again, it's just planning for the worst. And, you know, when I do jobs, I do them because I love being on my tractor. I don't want to turn that experience into something negative where I just have a horrible day because everything went wrong and something broke and I couldn't fix it. Yeah, some of that's going to happen. You have to understand it's a mechanical piece of equipment and stuff is going to happen. But by carrying these things with me, I stave off most of the problems. All right, here's where the rubber meets the road, and let's talk about pricing. You want it to be a for-profit venture, right? So here's a rule of thumb that I have. At the end of it, I want to make sure that I'm getting $150 an hour. When you figure in the cost of the tractor, my time is worth something. Sometimes you do jobs, especially tilling jobs for gardens, where it'll take you longer to load and unload your tractor than it will to actually do the job. The best advice that I can give you is do not price jobs hourly. You will hurt yourself. Let me give you an example. So let's say your customer wants a certain section of their yard tore up and regraded and seeded, okay? And you estimate that's going to take you 2 hours to do, all right? So if you used my $150 an hour method, you're going to make $300 for it. Well, I'm not doing it for that. I'm just not. I probably would be in the $500 to $600 range. And really, from a customer standpoint, to get that area taken care of and graded and seeded, and that's probably what they pretty much have in their mind anyhow. And to me, it makes it worth it to do. Now, I do have an exception because I am a YouTube creator, and that often I will do jobs for much less than I would normally charge because I think it's going to be interesting on the channel. And so it goes to content, right? And being able to create content to continue to grow the channel and put stuff on there that you guys are going to find interesting. But generally, as a rule of thumb, when I leave the barn, I want to come home with some cash. That's another thing, too, is I work by cash only, which has its obvious advantages. And, you know, starting to develop some repeat customers as well, too, which is always a good sign. You're going to learn. You're going to take on jobs that you're a little unsure of, but my advice, take your time. You know, I have found when I have screwed up, damaged a piece of equipment or what have you, it's always because I'm too much in a hurry. And that's something I have to teach myself, and I'm working on that. Take your time and enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed this. I really enjoy sharing this with you guys, but I'm going to tell you something. I have an ulterior motive. I'm hoping that I'm going to get a lot of comments and I'm going to learn from it. What do you charge? What kind of jobs do you do? What equipment do you have? Can we all learn as a forum, our group, from each other? I think that we can. So I would encourage you to put in the comments, again, those things and more. Let's learn from it. I enjoy being with you guys, I always do. And thank you so much. God bless you. And we'll see you next time on Tractors in Life. Have fun with your tractor.